to my new YouTube channel where I talk about various topics. This is a various topics YouTube channel. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about some current events, recent events concerning Elon Musk, or rather, his son, about 3-4 years old, and sanctuary cities for transgenders, and reparations. So, first, I'm going to get into Elon Musk's son. I think he's about 3-4 years old. One of those. For some reason, people seem to be obsessed with something that he said to Trump, or supposedly said to Trump, during Elon Musk, press conference or a briefing or whatever that was. I think he was giving an update about Doge or something other. Now, the claim is, they are claiming that Elon Musk's son, who is about 3 or 4 years old, basically told Trump that he's not the president, get off the seat or something like that. However, in the video clip, you can't really tell what he's saying. You can't. Okay? You just can't. And I kind of wonder, since a lot of people who is pushing those, who are using those clips, I kind of wonder if those clips are kind of doctored up, ones where you can sort of hear like a bit of a whisper. You can't make out what the kid is saying. Okay? And why are they putting stock into what this kid says? Let's assume for 1 second that this kid, who is only about 3 or 4 years old, did indeed say what they are suggesting that he said. What does that prove? Kids that young are very impressionable, and they probably will repeat something that they've already heard from other people, from other sources. Okay? So, even if it turned out that Elon Musk's little kid of about 3 or 4 years old actually did say that, which I don't see any proof of, you can't really hear what he's saying in those video clips, but even if he did say that, that doesn't prove nothing. For all we know, he could be repeating what somebody else said, what he overheard someone else say. If he actually did say that. But in the video clip, you can't really tell what he's saying at all. So why are these people so obsessed with what this kid said? And why are they giving it credibility? It doesn't make any sense. They base all of that on what this kid says? Like, what? Okay, kids that young, they sometimes say mean stuff. Okay? They sometimes do. I have nieces and nephews. Well, one niece and one nephew. Hard to believe that they are now adults. But nonetheless, of course, I don't think I saw my nephew much when he was that young. But I did see my niece before I lost track of it. I did see my niece quite a bit when she was around 3, 4, and 5, and even 6. Before I wasn't able to see it for a couple of years because they live out of state and cost too much money to. Long story, but that's a different type. But the point is, kids that young sometimes say mean stuff, okay? It means nothing. It proves nothing. I mean, boy, these people are so desperate to find fault with Elon Musk that they're even using his little kid of about 3, 4 years old like anything he might say. That is just weird. Yeah. I'm trying to keep this video short. Hopefully about 5 or 10 more minutes. Hopefully. I think my last video I ended up making it about almost 30 minutes long, and I ended up not being able to post that, which is why I didn't post anything until Friday. However, this video I plan on keeping it under 15 minutes or up to 15 minutes. Now then, I'm done with the Elon Musk's son story. Everyone's obsession with Elon Musk's son, something that he allegedly said to Donald Trump in that video clip. You can't tell what he's saying. Now let's move on to sanctuary cities for transgenders. That is ridiculous. These people act like they are under a threat. These people act like somebody's trying to kill them, and they have to hide in these cities in order to be safe. And I watched some clips from the Massachusetts thing, and at one point it even sounded like they was making a threat. If you don't keep us safe, we'll make sure you don't feel safe, or something along those lines. I almost feel sorry for these people because honestly, they have been wildly misinformed. Okay? Their fear is based on misinformation which the mainstream media is spreading. They don't feel safe. They feel threatened. And it's kind of laughable considering what happened. Okay, just think about something. Trump is the one who's had, multiple attempts on his life already? Then after he won the election, you have people calling for violence against Trump supporters, and even calling for Trump's assassination before the election, before the inauguration. People were on the inauguration. People were making TikToks about that and posting it on TikTok. A lot of TikTok videos. And yet, these people, they're the ones who feel threatened. Who is threatening their lives? Who? None of these people in those clips are giving a legitimate argument about who is threatening their lives. And I think one of them even talked about how many of my friends have to die. First of all, who's trying to kill your friends? You have to get your facts straight. And why do we need sanctuary cities for transgenders? Nobody is trying to kill them. Yet they are being told that MAGA people doesn't want them to exist. They are being told that MAGA people wants to harm them, wants to kill them. How insane is that? And yet, these same people who are pushing that narrative, they are the ones pushing and repeating that narrative. Many of them are the same ones who are calling for Trump's assassination and calling for violence against Trump supporters. Especially after Trump won the 2024 election. So you have trans people who feel threatened because they can't, because of Trump's executive orders about keeping transgenders out of bathrooms, which by the way, that is about protection in women, and especially minors. Okay? Because before, they was letting just anybody walk into either bathroom, no questions asked, and that leaves the door wide open to predators, the way they had it before. Okay? A man who doesn't even identify as trans can just walk right into the women's bathroom when there's a little girl in there and do who knows what to her. And maybe even be a peeping Tom or something like that. Not to mention the potential stuff that could go on at schools. Okay? So because Trump signed executive orders basically to keep these women out, these trans people out of the same bathroom with biological, men and women, if you want to use those terms. These people all of a sudden feel threatened. They all of a sudden feel like their life is at risk. They all of a sudden feel like MAGA people is trying to kill them. They act like Trump is calling for their execution or something. And what's even crazier is that there are actually people in the LGBTQ community saying, hey, leave kids out of this. Which is part of, and I think that's one of the other main reasons for these executive orders, especially for the schools. Okay? Now maybe a nice compromise would be bathroom for transgender men and women or boys and girls. Like transgender only bathrooms. Okay? Because if biological women don't feel safe around trans women, then why should they have to change in front of them? Okay? And really, in the name of tolerance and acceptance, what's to stop anybody, a predator, from just walking right in to a women's bathroom or a women's changing room or whatever? Just no questions asked. And if anybody complains about it, then they get labeled transphobic and they get banned from that place, wherever it happens to be, or they get in trouble or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what this is about. Okay? And maybe another compromise is restrooms only, instead of like bathroom, like just restrooms for all genders. Like I think they do have some bathrooms where that both genders in there, and yes, there is only two genders. That's what the Bible says. I don't have time to get into that. Now then, I'm gonna move on to reparations. Because in that same, I saw a Fox News clip about that, about the Massachusetts thing, what happened there, and they also showed a clip from somebody still calling for reparations for slavery. Really? Reparations? If they was gonna do reparations for slavery, they should have done that, when those slaves were still alive. Probably within the first 5 or 10 years after slavery was abolished. If they was going to do something like that. Now, here it is, over 160 years later? Almost, going on? No black person alive today was a slave. No white person alive today was a slave owner. And here's something interesting. Okay, here's something interesting. There's even black people that don't believe in reparation. There's black people that don't believe in Black Lives Matter. Okay? Because they actually have common sense. And they're using it. Okay? I mean, reparation, like, seriously? No. first of all, like I said, it is far too late for reparations. It is far too late. They should have done that within the first 5-10 years after slavery was abolished. Not 160 plus years later. Or almost, I think it's going on 160 years. Okay, now it's too late. And besides that, what are these people talking about? Like, about this country being like white supremacists and racism is all running rampant and stuff. Did they forget that we had a black president for 8 years? Before Trump's first term? Are they forgetting about the successful black people that they're seeing? Whoopi Goldberg, Oprah Winfrey, Will Smith, you know what, and all these other like famous black people. Okay, and this is Black History Month, so you could probably come up with a bunch of other famous black people, and this is people who became successful in this country. So it doesn't make any sense. Okay, that really nothing is preventing black people from becoming successful. Okay, nothing. There may have been a time where that was true, but I don't. And even go back into like the 70s. There's a 70s like there's sitcoms where the main characters, well at least a lot of the main characters are black. Sanford and Son, black. I think there are a few white characters, but main characters, black. This video is going longer than what I planned. Hopefully I'm going to try to wrap this up. The Jeffersons, black. Which I think that started in the mid-70s and went all the way up to the mid-80s. Like, these are like